Hello. I'm sorry for wearing the headset. I'm in my bedroom and the microphone doesn't do well on my bed. It flops around and is annoying. So I am using the headset. Um, I hope the sound is okay. I said I'd have a video probably Saturday, Sunday, and it's Monday. So I'm doing it now. And then I'm gonna do um, this one about um, a day in my life, a day in the life of someone who never was diagnosed or never had bipolar disorder or um, any psychiatric disorder. And there's something very strange smelling. Anyway, um, so it's kind of distracting. Anyway, so what I mean by that is, excuse me, um, what I think my life would be like today if anxiety and bipolar disorder had never come my way. And so, let me first, in case you don't know, I will tell you that I was diagnosed in my mid 20s, but had symptoms um, long before that, been hospitalized as a teenager with depression and and I think I had it even as a child. Anyway, and I definitely had anxiety as a child. Um, so let's just say the only ingredient we're taking out of this is the psychiatric stuff. Um, I put it on my phone because I didn't want to forget anything because you know, because my memory is bad. Okay, so the first thing that would be different about my life would be that I could get up early and enjoy a sunrise. I uh, I naturally have always been a night owl, and my rhythm has always been against getting up early. Um, and I do think that probably is related in some way. So I would love to be a person. I think I could have been that person that gets up, gets their coffee, and sits on the deck and while the sun is rising before I start my day. Uh, that is something I would love to see. On the flip side, now I do enjoy the night sky that um, I go out with my special binoculars and my phone where it shows you what the name of the stars are and everything. But I mean, you can do that and still go to bed and get up early. But I would like to. I I think I could have been a person who gets up early and is ready for the day. And I just, and some of that is medication. I take it at bedtime. It's still in my system until a certain time in the morning, um, like 11 is when I feel the sensation to move and become active for the day. Um, so, and someone might say, well, take your meds early. It just doesn't. My time clock was like that before the meds. I would just be spending that time at night. If I took it at 8, I would still stay up. I would still be awake at 1 a.m., just numb like a zombie. So I'm going to play to my uh, circadian rhythm, I guess. But, okay, we're starting out on the deck watching the sunrise. So that's how I envision. I would have the first thing have done is let my 2 dogs out in the backyard to do their business and run around with a privacy fence. Um, and while I'm at work, I will be able to afford a dog walker or doggy daycare. Is there another person in my life in this imaginary um, sit, uh, not situation, but scenario? Scenario. Um, I was engaged, but now I really don't think that was the right. Um, that wasn't. I don't think that. Definitely no kids. Uh, I just am. I I like my time. I like to. I just have other longings, and I have never ever wanted children. The idea is interesting, but I wouldn't want to actually be there, for the stuff you have to do to have, raise children. Um, Possibly there would be a partner, um, but I definitely would not have a relationship that required me being with that person every second of the day. It would just be understood that I would have, I need time alone. So either I would live by myself solitarily and be happy with it, and then, and I can think of one I already, okay, and, or a partner that isn't needy. Uh, what would I be thinking while I am sitting on my deck and the sun is rising? Um, Travel. Travel is hard when you have bipolar disorder, especially if you want to go somewhere overseas. Time zones will mess you up. So, I will be thinking about what about work and pep talking myself into, and I have a good day and whatever. But then I'm going to think about my upcoming trip to, let's see, the first place I've always wanted to go is um, Greece, to see the architecture and statues, culture, things like that. So that's what I would be thinking about. And I would be able to drink whatever coffee I want, and it wouldn't affect me in any other way than give me a little energy. Um, no anxiety because of it, no sleeplessness because of it, no irritability because of it. So And this place that I would be living in, um, I may not have a deck. I might have a balcony, but I would have my own yard for the dogs with the privacy fence. And I would be able to afford at this point, because I'm going to give you my job here in a minute. I would be able to afford living close to the city. I want to live close to my job, and I'm going to work in the city. I I mean, I want to live close enough that I want to be safe, but I want um, I want the to be close to the culture centers and just the shops and like records, vinyl shop, and um, bookshops and neat places to eat. And I wouldn't be spending a lot of my time commuting. That's awful. People trade so much time of their life in commuting. So, I would be hearing the city come to life while I'm sitting there thinking about my trip. And then I would go in, have my dogs come in, feed my dogs, have a health smoothie, and I would not be overweight um, because Zyprexa and Remeron never came my way, and Depakote would have never come my way. I was always petite until those drugs entered my life. In McDonald's, there was a period where it was when I was on the Remeron, I craved things so strongly, it was just like needing drugs. So, anyway, I would be my petite self. I'm 5 foot. I usually ran about 110 pounds, so I would have my smoothie for breakfast, get my shower, get my scrubs on, because before I was a dog trainer, I was a nurse, an oncology nurse. I don't know that I would still be an oncology nurse, probably, but I know that even though a lot of the people I went to school with, by this point, they would be moved up or, like be supervisors and stuff, I would choose to stay on the floor with the patients because that's the part I enjoyed about it. And I do know it wouldn't be maternity or pediatrics. So it probably would stay oncology, cancer patients, and but I would continue my education. I would have at least my master's in nursing. I would always be continuing my education. It's very important to me, and I just wish I had the money to do that, but I'm poor now. So, if I had no dependents other than dogs, and I was, had seniority and I worked in a hospital as a nurse, I would be able to continue my education. But like I said, oh, medication time. Hold on. Okay. My dog starts barking and doesn't stop until I do the medication. Okay. Sorry, my hair was in a barrette. And I'm actually loving the red. It's darker in person. Let me get my okay. So I would own my home. Uh, I will have had it painted the color I like, um, which is, excuse me. I think I would like it to be yellow. I like warm colors, as you can see. And yellow, yeah. I'm Hufflepuff, so yellow. I would still love fantasy, uh, Harry Potter. I would sci-fi. I would still have all my likes and dislikes. It's just what I think would be different. Then I would come home after my shift. I would be able to be awake enough in the daytime in this alternate reality to work the day shift. I have never been able to successfully work the day shift. Uh, I'm just not there. I'm just like not all there. I can't do it. As a dog trainer, I'm able to schedule as I like, and so I don't start training till 1 p.m. and I stop at 6 in the summer hours, summertime. Uh, and then let's see, I would go home and walk my dogs, and let's see, get home. Sometimes I might be home to walk my dogs to see the sun setting. Or I could actually drink a, well, I'm allergic, but in this world, I would drink, I would like, I would like to like wine. I don't like wine unless it's cheap, sweet wine. But I would like to like good wine, and be able to drink one glass, maybe two if I'm not working the next day. I would watch TV, watch a movie, some favorite series, binge watch something, um, play with, cuddle with my dogs. And then I would go to bed. I would read until I fell asleep. And I would sleep a normal sleep until I got up in the morning. Uh, no insomnia, no meds, just a clean fall asleep and get up refreshed. I There was a time that I read until I fall asleep, but the meds make it hard to do that. Uh, my home would be very tidy, except for maybe a room that I would use for creative projects. But I like my space that I'm going to spend time in to be tidy. It doesn't necessarily have to be clean, but it will be because I will be able to pay for someone to come in and clean my house. I don't have to clean any toilets and the kitchen. I I make them do the dishes too, and I would be able to have someone, like long hair and stuff, so I could just work and come home and enjoy. And I would have, I would get to enjoy for that day a normal mood. Now, I'm not saying good mood or, be happy, but a normal mood and normal anxiety. Like, it's normal to have anxiety about maybe something at work. Oh, I missed yoga. I would have time after I walk the dogs to do yoga. I'm not going to wake up early enough to do yoga in the morning unless I'm not working. And sleeping in at the latest would be 9. And normal mood, normal amount of anxiety, lasting a normal amount. Everybody's like, well, what's normal? You know what I mean. Don't give me that. There, you know what I mean. Uh, Not stammering and shaking and dry mouth, poor eye contact when you talk to people. None of that normal. What I feel would be normal for me if this were not in my life. And I know there are people that are going to say, oh, but I, love myself with bipolar and I wouldn't want to change it. Well, I am very happy for you if that is really how you feel. But I am impressed with how many times in my life I have had to pick myself up and start again, and that I'd never have stayed down. But if someone could say I could take this away from you now, would you like me to? Well, hell yeah. Yes, I would be confident and at ease. I do have a sort of inferior complex when, like, say, I think of my brother, and, like, I bet they think they're better than me because they have a business and they have a restaurant, like, it's like a deli kind of, and or bistro. Anyway, um, I have a business too, but it's it's important. It's part time, and I only earn so much. It's really just to help out, and so I'm able to do things just a little bit of extra. I couldn't do full time. Anyway, confident and at ease. At ease is what I is the biggest thing. Is without the psychiatric issues, I would be more at ease about everything. My from my body image to the fact that the new driver's side mirror on my car that I bought and had put on isn't the same color as the other one. I thought it was black, but it's more like a charcoal gray. And that bothers me. So I wouldn't have to pay for medication. I wouldn't have to worry about picking up medication. I wouldn't have to worry about taking medication. I wouldn't have to worry about side effects of medication, psychiatric medications. I do understand that I could still have other disorders, um, health, like I have gastric reflux. I take a medication for that. I take estrogen, which in a couple years will be, I think I'm supposed to go off of it. That'll be fun. Anyway, I wouldn't be on disability. I wouldn't have that stigma. I wouldn't have that inferior complex, inferiority complex. Um, I would be going to work, earning my money, and spending my money as I please. And I wouldn't have to worry about the government except for my taxes. Um, earn too much. It would be really hard for me to earn too much, but I would have really good insurance compared to Medicare. Oh my goodness. I would I would in an instant be able to have the routine colonoscopy you're supposed to get at my age and the mammogram I'm supposed to have. It runs in my family, breast cancer, but I'm paying off the MRI for my stupid finger infection, but I wouldn't have as many worries about medical problems paying for them. And I would have money to buy stuff. I could, you know, exchange my car, take it in, get a newer one, get a better laptop, get just to me, money just equals things. I don't see money as money. I just see money as what you can get for handing those pieces of paper over. Except now it's becoming electronic. And so I would go to bed with a clear mind for the next day. Anyway, so that is that. I, I, there are probably some other things that I'm forgetting, but I don't, I don't walk around thinking to myself, well, if only I didn't have this, if only I didn't have that. I think about how do I get around having this issue? How do I manage it so I can do as much as I possibly can? And to hell with anyone who doesn't understand, because in my mind, nobody can understand until they've walked in my shoes. Nobody can judge, therefore they cannot judge. So I have to always tell myself that if somebody is judging, then they need to take a look at themselves. As judging someone for something you have nothing, you have no knowledge of, personal knowledge of. I mean, you can't, like, I can't even begin to think of what it would be like to have terminal cancer. I've been around a lot of people who have it when I was a nurse, especially. Um, and I've seen them and talked with them and taken care of them. But I'm not about to say, oh, honey, I know, I know. No, you don't. So it's the same thing with psychiatric illnesses. No matter illnesses, it's not really disorder, sorry. Um, there, you don't know. And you can never know, no matter how hard or um, completely I describe or explain, you'll never know. So um, it was interesting to think in a way that I'm not used to thinking, and that is what my life would be like without this thing that I've been living with for, I'm 51, and so, you know, at least 30 years, but diagnosed anyway. Anyway, um, I did want to mention that in future videos, and you might see I'm going to be doing videos about this thing, and I'll put them in like a separate playlist, I guess, um, about my essential tremor, and because it is something that is now affecting how well I can do things like talk. My chin sometimes does random things, and I have jerks and shaky hands, and not when I'm still, but when I go to do something, especially my left hand. Um, and my voice is getting worse, like, every day. You hear like a vibration in it. And so I'm going to be doing some videos about that because it is affecting my life. It is progressive. I've seen it's genetic, and I've seen those people. And I've had to resort to adapters at this point, like a weight that I put on my hand when I type, so it doesn't, these two fingers keep wanting to type like that. Um, and I jerk the mouse, and so I use the headset when I want to type a letter or make a handout for work, for dog training. I talk. It's pretty accurate, so that I only have to go back and fix the typos. And, like I have to use a pencil with a weight on it so it will stay on the paper and not bounce up and down. And my biggest problem, and I'm not sure how to get around this, is trying to count money and give money or papers to people. There have been instances where I hand it to the person I'm trying to hand, and say, can you just get the two top pieces of paper and give me, okay, My hands aren't cooperating. Thank you. Um, and so it's and my extremities are getting weak, and the tremor is worse when I do any sort of like heavy work, mowing the lawn, um, holding the sander and making. Anyway, I'm gonna put all that in a whole different video. I think there's one on here somewhere that shows my hand when it was really bad because I was cutting tree limbs. Um, if I don't have that on this account, I'll put it up. But yeah, so it's becoming an issue, and um, so in this case, I think the only thing really is my voice gets it's like my throat, my vocal cords get tight and tired after a while of talking. So um, that's all for that one. Um, I'm thinking the next one will finally be about another one about what about the people that treat their bipolar disorder with something without medication? Because I have a lot to say on that. I have a lot to say in a short amount of time on that topic. So, anyway, um, I would like it for you to just try and do what I did, sort of do a compare and contrast. Where would I be? What would I be doing? What would life be like for me if this had never come into my life? And is it really all that bad that you aren't there? Because I'm very pleased at where I am right now as far as working with people and their dogs and making their lives better. I get good reviews, I get good feedback. I just like go to people's houses and they talk about their dogs, and they just want someone to listen, and then we do some training, and then they're like, oh, I didn't know my dog could do that. I mean, it's like the best job in the world. I don't have a lot of money, and I do have a disability, but um about to be getting another one here if things progress as they continue to. Um, Also, with the tremor, it looks like females tend to get it worse, but a head bob, like a head shake or a head bob, it's actually the neck muscles. And I haven't, my chin does crazy things, but I don't think I have a head, yeah, at least yet. So I just know I'm in trouble when I can't feed myself anymore. So hopefully that'll never happen to me. Because I don't have any kids to feed me. Okay, that's all I have. I'm going to say goodnight to you. I hope you enjoy my Harry Potter wall decals, and have a good night.